A security guard saw a woman being beaten by her husband on the surveillance camera. He handed her a note wanting to help. Just a moment ago, Blair, the husband, was tasting the dinner his wife Julia had cooked. Julia was shaking all over with nervousness. When she saw Blair push the dinner plate toward her, she was so scared that she quickly apologized. In fact, Julia had long been living under her husband's abuse. The slightest mistake would lead to Blair's threats, punches, and kicks. Unhappy with the dinner, Blair suddenly stood up, then unbuckled his belt and whipped Julia, even though the wounds on her body hadn't healed yet. The next morning, Mike, the security guard, noticed on the surveillance camera that Julia was being beaten by Blair in the underground garage. But David, the supervisor, said there was no need to interfere. Mike couldn't believe how calm David was. He said that as a security guard, his duty was to protect everyone. But David stood up and threatened him. "You'd better mind your own business, or I'll fire you." In the afternoon, when Julia passed through the hotel lobby, Mike, who had been waiting for a long time, quickly called her over and handed her a note. When Julia opened it, the note clearly read, "Need some help?" She looked at Mike in shock. Mike explained that he could help her. At that moment, Blair came over. He warned Julia, "Watch your behavior," and then left. Julia was so scared that she didn't dare to move. Mike still wanted to help her, but Julia walked away straight. Late at night, Julia had just finished cooking dinner for Blair when he suddenly questioned her. "Were you flirting with that security guard today?" Julia hurriedly and panic-strickenly denied it, but Blair didn't want to listen to her explanation. He directly pulled out his belt and beat her. An hour later, a disheveled Julia went to find Mike in the surveillance room, hoping to get his help. Mike said the surveillance video would be evidence, but at that moment, the surveillance screen went black. It turned out that David had found out about their plan and cut off the feed. Mike noticed the Rolex on David's wrist and suddenly realized that David and Blair were in cahoots. David suddenly said he was firing Mike in his capacity as supervisor. Julia was about to leave in despair when Mike quickly hinted to her a way to escape. 2 hours later, Blair ordered David to check the surveillance footage to find Julia. After watching the footage, Blair took a baton and headed for the underground garage. He kept pressing Julia for answers, but under the wig was Mike, and he had been recording everything. Just then, the police arrived and quickly arrested Blair and David. As Mike was about to leave, Julia, to thank him, offered him a well-paid job.